What's up, y'all? So, I'm back from the gym, working on this piece, and I'm just amazed at what's going on. And I just doing an impromptu live to show you because even I, have my doubts sometimes. Like you use a product, you're like, is this really gonna do the hype and what it says is gonna do? And if you've not used it in a certain way or even tested it in a certain way, because sometimes it's hard to test something until you have that kind of piece to test it on. This time I did test it, and holy cow, I'm just super impressed with how well it worked, enough that I had to stop what I was doing and show you guys, because I just thought it was like incredible. Because again, I wasn't sure. You're not sure until you actually see it in action. So the product I'm talking about is Wise Owl's primer. And if you've been following along, I've been working on this really antique. It's probably 120 years old, I would venture a guess. Just beautiful antique mahogany table. And it's just beautiful. But it was beat up and all that kind of stuff. So I stripped the top because I was thinking I was going to do something to the top. And then I decided not to. Just because that pink, just gross. It wouldn't get down to the wood. So I was like, well, what I had planned I'm not going to do. So I'm going to paint it. But then I'm like, is anything going to stop bleed through with this just pink mahogany antiqueness? And I'd never used Wise Owl on this old of a piece. I've used it on lots of pieces before, and it's kind of become my go-to for priming if I feel like I need it, whether it's for adhesion or now definitely for any kind of bleed through. And I had to show you guys because I'm just that impressed. Like, stopped what I was doing. I was like, I gotta stop and show everybody because it's just amazing. Because I did 2 coats. Just before I show you, I did 2 coats, two full coats. So I did a coat, waited a day, did another coat, and then I think I waited 2 or 3 days before I actually painted. I think the recommended thing is at least a day to let the science behind what it's doing happen. And it was basically just sealing it, chemically sealing and blocking and doing all the stuff that, I don't know, Karen's smarter than me. She explained it better than I can. But do what it's supposed to do, right? And even I was like, all right, let's see, because this is a hardcore test. And when you talk about tests, you're talking, this is hardcore. So last night I did the start of my finish, which was some salt wash with the sea salt, which I'm sure you guys saw the preview for. And then the second step to that was to cover what I didn't hit with the sea salt and salt wash with a coat of that, to have one complete coat of the sea salt. And that was the plan. Well, of course, I'm figuring where it covered, the sea salt covered, or the salt wash covered, it was a little bit thicker stuff, so I'm assuming there's not going to be any bleed through, although there could, but I doubt it. And then where the paint was, I was like, well, is there going to be bleed through? And it's just amazing. Like, you would not know that there was antique mahogany underneath this thing. So I'm going to show you because I'm pretty stoked about how it turned out. And then it's turning out beautiful, the first step. And then there's several steps still to go. I got a plan in my head. Hopefully it turns out, because this will be going to Restore Decor for the ministry. So I'm excited to do it and see where it goes. So anyways, without further ado, oh, hey, without dropping my phone. Okay, first thing I'm going to show you is the top. So, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna bring my light over here, so I got a nice, beautiful white light. And I challenge any of you to see any of the pink, any of the red, anything. And this is only one coat of paint, y'all. Seriously, one coat of paint. I did the 2 coats of primer. And after I did the 2 coats of primer, it still had pink that you could see, and that's why I was stressing a little bit. But just with the 1 coat of paint, there's no pink. And I'm going to show you what it looks like below where I haven't done a coat of paint yet. So you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Like, there's nothing. It's just the sea salt, and that's it. I was stoked. Check this out. Okay, so now I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So the spots where I have not painted the full coat. So this you see here is the salt wash in sea salt. And this is where you could see that pink coming through, right? And that was the primer. So even I did 2 coats of primer and it still showed pink. But the thing you need to know is it's going to show, but it's going to be sealed. I mean, it's going to be locked in. You can see it, but it's not going to continue to come through the next coats. And I think that's the part, the chemical scientific part that Karen talks about, that I can't really give you a great explanation of how it happens. But another reason why you got to wait the 24 hours too for it to completely do what it's supposed to do, right? So I got my sea salt right here, right? So I'm going to do another coat to cover up the spots that I didn't hit with the salt wash. And you can see I just gave it a really beautiful brush stroke to look with the salt wash. I didn't go crazy like with texture, just something to give some brush strokes, because I'm going to do layers of paint on top of this, and I wanted my base to be something just kind of neat and look, you know, kind of brush stroked. But I can't even tell you how much I can't get over how much that pink disappeared with 1 coat of paint. So this is what the top looked like. The top looked exactly like this. It had the pink where you could see it, right? And then the salt wash, and then I just did 1 coat of paint, and then the pink was just gone. So it sealed it in completely and didn't allow it to creep up through my paint. And this is a very light color paint too, so that's another reason why. So again, to recap, like this underneath here was 2 coats of Wise Owl's white primer over antique mahogany that I had actually sanded down too, because I had a lot of spots that was all jacked up. So I sanded it, which is even worse to do, because usually bleed through comes even worse. But I did 1 coat, waited 24 hours, did another coat of the white primer, and I think I waited 3 days. And it's really just because I didn't get around to it for 3 days. And then last night I did the salt wash. So that's what the salt wash looks like, right? It covered it up, and you'd expect it to because it's thicker than the paint, right? But the spots where it didn't cover it up, you're doing 1 coat of paint, you're still thinking, well, maybe it's one that's going to bleed through more. Nope, it didn't. Check it out. This is the top. This is with only 1 coat of paint. And like I said, I challenge y'all to find. You tell me if you see a pink spot, because I don't. And this was just 1 coat of paint. So I had the 1 layer of salt wash from below, just like I had below, and then I just did 1 coat, and it's still kind of wet in spots. That's why it's, you know, you can see like a little uneven because it's still a little wet, but I mean, there's just no pink at all. This is crazy, crazy, crazy. I mean, I'm going to show you just another little spot right here. You can see what I'm talking about. You see the pink right here where the salt wash didn't hit? It looked just like that up here, and these spots where the salt wash was, and there was pink everywhere, especially on the top was really bad. I should have taken, well, I think I got a before picture I'll add to the blog when I finish this up to show you. But anyways, you know, I like to share stuff, and this is definitely one I was super happy with, and just at the moment of time when I was happy, I wanted to jump on here and show you guys. So the moral of the story is, A, Wise Owl Primer is the bomb, and B, if you follow Karen's directions and how she tells you how to use it, and I think that's the key to it, because she's such a science person. She knows like the specific reasons why you do, how you do, what you do with her products, because she really has a hand in actually making them. And you know, just follow those directions. So put a coat on, wait, put another coat on, and wait at least a day. And I would say 2 days. Really let it set and do its thing. But man, it's just awesome. Like, I'm so happy, because this is like, again, another piece that's going to the ministry. I want it to be nice, 1, and 2, it's just nice to know, like, moving forward, like if I got this piece, it's like 100 and something years old, and I sanded down the top. So, you know, if you do this, you know, if you sand down mahogany or any of those, it's really going to creep through. So, but anyways, that's all. I just wanted to show you guys. Thought it was pretty cool. It's a nice start. This is, I think it was the first time I'd used sea salt, so it's kind of a neat color. It's not going to end up this color, but this is the base of the layeringness I'm going to do to it. I already kind of showed y'all what I'm going to do. I got, let's see, I think 4 colors it's going to go on this thing. And then you could probably see I snuck in some, check it out, the new molding material from Redesign that they sent me. Check that out. Isn't that cool? I made some and slapped it on there. What you think? Pretty cool, right? I even got one for the drawer too, but you gotta wait till I have more sneak peeks. So anyways, let me go on here and see who's on here real quick before I jump off. Hey, Christina, are you in Germany yet? When are you going to Germany? Yeah, I think she's a chemist. She talks like she is sometimes. Let's see. So you put salt wash under the primer. No, primer first. I'll post this so you'll see what I did. But it's basically 2 coats of white primer over top of the wood. But you do 1 coat, wait. I waited a day and did another coat, and I waited 3 days before I painted. And basically, you want it to let it do its thing, like set and seal and do all that stuff before you put paint. And that's what makes that bleed through stop. So, but yeah, and then I just did salt wash last night, and today I was doing the complete coverage. So, because sometimes when I do use salt wash, I just leave it like that and then I go on to the second color. This time I'm doing a full color coat of the same color I used with the salt wash, if that makes sense. So I was going back to go over top of it, but those pink spots, I was like, well, I guess we'll see what happens. Is the pink gonna pop through the spots that doesn't have salt wash? But it didn't at all. It's just awesome. So I don't know, little things in life that make you happy, right? So anyways, I figured I'd just jump on here and show y'all what I got. I have an entire set of mahogany, so I certainly should give it this try. Yeah, I definitely would. Just do that though. Like, that's the thing. A lot of times people are like, well, I'm gonna do it my own way, and then it doesn't work, and then they're mad, like, this product doesn't work the way people said it would. Just follow those directions. That's the biggest thing, is follow the directions. Especially with Karen, with Wiseall, because that's her thing. Her thing is this kind of stuff, like the science behind everything that they do is really something that she's very, very knowledgeable about. So she's not just selling paint. She's like the brains behind the operation too. So if she says wait to paint over her primer, then do it. And bam, this is the results. I use the primer all the time. Matter of fact, the other client piece I'm working on right now has the clear primer on it. But I've never used it on something this old, and I'm just blown away about the coverage of it. So I thought I'd stop and share with everybody. So you got fancy. Yeah, I got fancy. That's right. I got some really cool stuff from Redesign I can't wait to show. And I'm actually doing the modeling material on this, and then my very first ever transfer. So wish me luck on that one, or drop me a prayer, or whatever you want to do, that I don't mess it up. But that's what's going on the top. So that ought to be a neat thing to take up to Restore Decor too, is something different, because, you know, painted projects are great, but the transfers and the modeling material and all this other fun stuff that I've been getting from Redesign, I'm really looking forward to adding to those pieces and giving folks something different to be able to buy. Not yet. May we take the rotator out? Oh my goodness. I want to see lots of pictures from Germany. I haven't been to Germany since I deployed there. Geez, it's probably 14 years ago I deployed to Germany. It was a lot of fun though. I was at Landstuhl, and if you know anything about Landstuhl, it's a town, and at the top of the hill, which they call Cardiac Hill because it's like this, at the top of the hill is the hospital where I worked, where I helped with managing patients that came from downrange, and when it was really bad going on. And then right directly down that Cardiac Hill is the town where all the bars were. And back then I might have drank a little bit more than I should have in my younger days. And getting back up the hill was not fun, but the food was amazing. So now you've been there before, so you know. Well, let's see, would the primer work on a leather topped desk? Well, I can't say for sure, but I've used the Wiseall clear primer and white primer as an adhesion thing, right? So I've used it for very, very glossy surfaces and on hardware. I had one time where hardware, I went to paint it and it wasn't sticking at all, just the paint. So you got the primer, put it on there, and boom, done, easy. So I would say you probably could, but I can't tell you from experience. I've never done anything over a leather top desk, but I mean, if I had a leather top desk and I needed to paint it, I would use it. If you're just asking for my opinion. Mahogany is the worst bleeder, and cherry. Yeah, this one was ridiculous. I mean, I'm so happy with how it turned out because obviously it's going to the ministry and I want it to be good. I mean, I want it to be good anyway, you know, but going up there, you know, I want somebody, whoever's going to buy it, to love it and have it not be like, oh, what did this guy do to this thing? And, you know, I'm going to put some time into it because I'm going to do layers. And my first transfer, which is another part, on the top I'm going to do the transfer, and then I want to make sure what's shown below is nice and looks good. So yeah, transfers are fun. You guys come visit, yeah, that would be awesome. So anyways, that's it. I just wanted to show you guys. I'll give you one last little thing for anybody that just jumped on. The long and the short of this video is I did this antique mahogany. And when I say antique, I know people are like, it's not an antique, but this thing legit is an antique. It's at least 100 years old. It's got the old school screws and bolts in it and nails and everything. So what I did was 2 coats of Wise Owl's white primer over everything, right? And when I was done with the 2 coats, you could still see the pink coming through. And that's where my stressor came. I was like, oh crap, is it gonna keep coming all the way through my paint? And last night I did the salt wash. This is salt wash and sea salt. This one here, sea salt, so you get a better view of it. Ta-da, really pretty, right? Almost kind of works perfectly with salt wash. And then I did that. So of course I'm figuring the salt wash is gonna cover it and not gonna have bleed through. I'm figuring, because it's this thicker kind of stuff, right? But then when I did the paint, because what I'm doing is I'm gonna do another coat of the sea salt to cover. So I'm gonna have 1 complete coat of sea salt. I was worried that the bleed through would keep coming through just the paint parts, and it just didn't at all. It really sealed and locked it in. And down here you can see, actually, you know what, while I'm sitting right here, I guess I could paint something and show you real quick. So I'm just gonna do 1 little coat over. So let's see, bam, bam, bam. Sorry I'm doing this. But if you know anything about bleed through, it's not going to take an hour for it to bleed through. If it's going to bleed through, it's going to bleed through, right? So this would kind of be like, you know, I'm full of you know what, because it would just start bleeding through right here. But bam. I mean, just, it completely covered it, dude. And that's just 1 coat. Like, you should do 2 coats to have complete coverage of whatever it is you're painting. But it was just gone, man. And I was so excited. So I just jumped on here to show you guys. And I know I'm probably repeating myself over and over because people are jumping on and off. But anyways, that's that. And you can see the pink where I haven't painted yet. And then the top, which was just horrific because I sanded it all the way down thinking I was going to stain it again. There is just no, and you can see it's a little blotchy because it's still drying. But you can see there's just no pink. None to be found anywhere, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. So this is step 1 to this guy that's going to be going to restore decor. So if you're a local person and you've been following along, here's your little sneak peek. Anyways, hope everybody has a great day. I get to paint, so I'm in excited and good mood because it's working out too. And I got some stuff coming in the mail that I want to talk about too. So Maddie and I will probably go live. I'm doing more and more custom work, and my main color palette is Wise Owl. And I realized that I don't have some colors, because if I got to choose the colors, it would just be blues or grays. So, but it's not just me who gets to pick the colors when I'm doing custom work. Client picks a green, like dried thyme, that I don't have. I got to order it. So talked with Karen and Aaron and said, hey, doing more custom work, and I just need to have every color on hand. So I had to order some colors that may not be the normal colors everybody uses. So with that being said, I thought it'd be fun to do a live just to show off the colors, because they're great colors, And maybe it's your bag. It's not my bag. Grays and blues are my thing. You know, I'm the blue guy, right? So, but maybe yellows are your thing. Maybe pinks are your thing. So I got some coming, and I'll just pop the tops, show you guys the different colors that Wiseall has, because they're very well known for the blues, the amazing array of colors that they have, but you might not have used beeswax before, you know, which is a yellowish color. You might not have, you know, there's other ones you might not have used. So I just want to show those off too, to give you an idea of what other colors are in their color palette for you to play with and do stuff with. So that'll be coming too. So, oh yeah, and if you saw the post from last night, Maddie and I are working on a very, very fun video, and me totally being a dork, on the many uses of salve. So stay tuned for that. Maddie's doing the editing partially. I'll probably do some too, but it was just something fun we did. I thought it'd be neat just to show off the many uses, and we went through a whole bunch of stuff too, and just being silly the way we are, and so it's fun and educational, and we'll have that out on my YouTube channel very, very soon. So anyways, that's it. Hope everybody's having a great Monday, has a very blessed week, and as always, happy painting.